To keep in mind is to consider.
He keeps their work in mind before he gives a raise.
She keeps the temperature in mind before she goes out.
A pilot keeps the checklist in mind before he takes off.
A surgeon keeps his patient in mind when he operates.
He keeps the climate in mind when he goes on vacation.
The teacher keeps their conduct in mind before she gives a grade.
He keeps the road conditions in mind before he drives.
A racer keeps the tires in mind when he races.
A nurse keeps the schedule in mind when she gives medicine.
She keeps the time in mind when she's out to lunch. To keep an eye on is to take care of or to watch.
Babysitters keep an eye on children.
He keeps an eye on our house when we go on vacation.
She keeps an eye on the roast beef in the oven.
The parking lot attendant keeps an eye on the cars.
The lifeguard keeps an eye on the swimmers.
Grandparents keep an eye on the baby when the parents go out.
She keeps an eye on our pets when we aren't at home.
She keeps an eye on the soup on the stove.
The store detective keeps an eye on the customers.
The Coast Guard keeps an eye on the boats. To keep up with is to be on a level with or to keep informed.
She keeps up with her neighbors.
He keeps up with the news.
Doctors keep up with new medicines.
He keeps up with the new dances.
She keeps up with the other secretary.
He keeps up with his friends.
She keeps up with politics.
Scientists keep up with new discoveries.
She keeps up with the new songs.
He keeps up with the other player. To keep in touch with is to be in contact with.
She keeps in touch with her old friends.
The foreman keeps in touch with the workers.
The president keeps in touch with the cabinet.
He keeps in touch with his customers. I keep in touch with her by telephone. He keeps in touch with his old students.
The manager keeps in touch with the salesman.
The senator keeps in touch with the people.
You keep in touch with your relatives.
He keeps in touch with me by telephone. To keep good time is to have the correct time.
Her watch keeps good time.
Swiss watches keep good time.
The cathedral clock keeps good time.
The grandfather clock keeps good time.
He's on time. His watch keeps good time.
My watch doesn't keep good time.
Cheap watches don't keep good time.
The bank clock doesn't keep good time.
That antique clock doesn't keep good time.
She's late. Her watch doesn't keep good time. To keep track of is to keep in order or follow.
She's here on time. She keeps track of the time.
A secretary keeps track of the correspondence.
She keeps track of her schedule.
She knows the date. She keeps track of the days.
The treasurer keeps track of the money.
He's punctual. He keeps track of the time.
A receptionist keeps track of appointments.
He keeps track of his telephone calls.
He knows where she is. He keeps track of her activities.
The scientist keeps track of his notes. To do over is to do again, or to redecorate.
When the job is bad, they do it over.
The letters aren't clear. She has to do the typing over.
His handwriting is bad. He has to do the letter over.
The floor is dirty. She has to do the mopping over.
She does the living room over every 5 years.
She does her homework over when it's wrong.
The address on the envelope is wrong. She has to do it over.
The story is boring. The author has to do it over.
The furniture is dusty. She has to do the dusting over.
He does his office over every 3 years. To do without is to live without.
Poor people do without luxuries.
She's on a diet. She has to do without bread and candy.
The bakery is closed. They have to do without dessert.
His motorcycle is in the garage. He has to do without it.
His black suit is at the dry cleaner's. He has to do without it.
People in Africa do without modern conveniences.
There isn't any sugar for the coffee. He has to do without it.
The supermarket is closed. They have to do without milk.
Her car is wrecked. She has to do without it.
Her watch is at the jeweler's. She has to do without it. To make up one's mind is to decide.
I make up my mind quickly at the boutique.
You make up your mind about the invitation.
He makes up his mind about the movies.
She makes up her mind about a new blender.
They make up their minds about the stereo.
I make up my mind slowly at the shoe store.
You make up your mind about the dinner.
He makes up his mind about the picnic.
She makes up her mind about a new dishwasher.
They make up their minds about the record. To make believe is to pretend.
Children make believe they're astronauts.
She makes believe she's Queen of England.
They make believe they're soldiers.
I make believe I'm a pilot.
You make believe you're a frogman.
He makes believe he's a cowboy. I make believe I'm an Indian.
He makes believe he's Christopher Columbus.
I make believe I'm a skydiver.
You make believe you're a captain of the ship.
To make sure is to confirm or to assure oneself.
She makes sure that they're at home before she goes there.
He makes sure that the plane is on schedule before he goes to the airport.
She makes sure that the store is open before she goes shopping.
You make sure that they're in their bedroom.
They make sure that he has his coat on.
She makes sure that their car is in the garage.
He makes sure that the train is on schedule before he goes to the depot.
The security guard makes sure that the store is closed at night.
You make sure that they're asleep.
They make sure that he gets home. To make good time is to travel quickly or at an acceptable pace.
We make good time on the plane.
The winner makes good time in the race.
A racehorse makes good time.
He makes good time between here and the beach.
Her car is new. She makes good time in it.
We don't make good time on the train.
The loser doesn't make good time.
A workhorse doesn't make good time.
He doesn't make good time between here and New York.
His car is old. He doesn't make good time in it. To make fun of is to joke about or to laugh at.
They make fun of fat people.
They make fun of the clown.
This comedian makes fun of the opera singer.
He makes fun of the monkeys.
He makes fun of the photographer.
They make fun of skinny people.
They make fun of the donkey.
This comedian makes fun of rock singers.
The monkey makes fun of her.
The photographer makes fun of him. To make the best of is to do as well as possible.
She makes the best of the economic depression.
They make the best of their poor home.
He makes the best of his disability.
She makes the best of an unexpected visitor.
She makes the best of a date she doesn't like.
She makes the best of her low salary.
They make the best of their bad working conditions.
He makes the best of his broken leg.
She makes the best of a boring party.
He makes the best of a job he doesn't like. To make sense is to be logical or understandable.
Geometry makes sense to him.
His arguments make sense.
Good habits make sense.
His report makes sense.
This problem makes sense to us.
Algebra doesn't make sense to her.
His conduct doesn't make sense.
Bad habits don't make sense.
His report doesn't make sense.
This problem doesn't make sense to them. To make up is to make peace.
People make up after a fight.
Indians make up with a peace pipe.
They make up with a kiss.
He makes up a fight with flowers.
They make up with a handshake.
Countries make up after a war.
Countries make up with a peace treaty.
They make up with a hug.
He makes up a fight with candy.
They make up with a pat on the back. To make room for is to make a place for.
She makes room for him at the table.
They make room for the new armchair.
She makes room for the potted plant.
We make room for the other passengers. I make room for him in the line. He makes room for her on the couch.
They make room for the new coffee table.
He makes room for a new book on the shelf.
They make room for him on the bench.
You make room for her in the crowd. To make something talk is to play well.
He makes the violin talk.
You make the piano talk.
He makes the saxophone talk.
She makes the harmonica talk.
The band makes the instruments talk.
She makes the guitar talk.
He makes the organ talk.
He makes the trumpet talk.
She makes the banjo talk.
He makes the orchestra talk. To stand up is to get up.
She stands up to say hello.
He stands up when there's a lady in the room.
We stand up to listen to the national anthem.
They stand up after class.
The reporters stand up when the president enters the room.
He stands up to shake hands. I stand up when there's an older person in the room.
You stand up to salute the flag.
They stand up after a meal.
They stand up to applaud the actor.
To stand for is to represent.
USA stands for the United States of America.
UN stands for the United Nations.
NATO, NATO, stands for the North Atlantic Treaty Organization.
DC stands for the District of Columbia.
TEX, Tex, stands for Texas.
USSR stands for the United Soviet Socialist Republics.
OAS stands for the Organization of American States.
OPEC, OPEC, stands for the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries.
NY stands for New York.
CAL, Cal, stands for California. To stand out is to be noticeable. That color combination stands out.
His intelligence stands out.
His talent stands out.
Your tie stands out.
My car stands out. Red and black stand out.
His voice stands out.
Her good conduct stands out.
Your jacket stands out.
My bicycle stands out. To stand up for is to believe in or to defend. She stands up for women's liberation.
He stands up for democracy.
You stand up for your country.
She stands up for her family.
I stand up for my school. He stands up for workers' rights.
They stand up for their religion.
He stands up for his state.
The dog stands up for its master.
He stands up for his club. To stand a chance is to have an opportunity.
He knows the lesson. He stands a good chance on the exam.
He's a good boxer. He stands a good chance against the champion.
She's pretty. She stands a good chance in the beauty contest.
I'm a good skier. I stand a good chance on the slopes.
You're muscular. You stand a good chance in the weightlifting contest.
He isn't a strong swimmer. He doesn't stand a chance in the swimming contest.
He isn't aggressive. He doesn't stand a chance on the football field. She isn't a fast runner. She doesn't stand a chance in the race.
I'm not a good surfer. I don't stand a chance on the waves.
She isn't graceful. She doesn't stand a chance in the skating contest.
To stand to reason is to be logical.
He does a lot of exercise. It stands to reason that he's muscular.
He goes out in the rain. It stands to reason that he has a cold.
She eats a lot. It stands to reason that she's fat.
He's diligent. It stands to reason that he makes progress.
It's cloudy outside. It stands to reason that it's cool.
She does a lot of housework. It stands to reason that she's tired.
She smokes a lot. It stands to reason that she has a cough.
She eats little. It stands to reason that she's thin.
He's lazy. It stands to reason that he does little work.
It's sunny outside. It stands to reason that it's warm. To look for is to search.
She looks for a job in the want ads.
He looks for his lighter in his pocket.
She looks for a house with a real estate agent.
A policeman looks for a thief.
You look for your friend at the party.
I look for repairmen in the yellow pages.
She looks for change in her purse.
I look for a pet in the pet shop.
A detective looks for evidence.
She looks for the waiter in the restaurant. To look up is to look for information.
She looks up telephone numbers in the telephone directory. She looks up addresses in her address book.
I look up a page number in the index.
She looks up information in the encyclopedia.
You look up recipes in a cookbook. He looks up words in the dictionary.
He looks up prices in a catalog.
She looks up plane schedules on a timetable.
You look up countries on a map.
You look up books in the library catalog. To look forward to is to anticipate.
I look forward to the weekend.
He looks forward to the new movie.
We look forward to their letters.
The Boy Scouts look forward to their camping trip. I look forward to your visit.
The children look forward to Christmas vacation.
She looks forward to her birthday party.
She looks forward to her presents.
You look forward to your trip to Europe.
He looks forward to your telephone call.
To look up to is to admire. I look up to my teacher.
He looks up to his big brother.
We look up to astronauts.
Children look up to adults.
You look up to the Queen. She looks up to famous models.
She looks up to her aunt.
They look up to cowboys.
Adults look up to famous people.
He looks up to the king. To look down upon is to hold in contempt.
She looks down upon beggars.
They look down upon people who aren't intelligent.
He looks down upon laborers.
She looks down upon other women.
He looks down upon older people.
He looks down upon the poor.
They look down upon frivolous people.
He looks down upon field hands.
He looks down upon ugly girls.
He looks down upon the young. To look out is to be careful. He looks out before he crosses.
She looks out before she gives answers.
I look out when I go swimming in the ocean.
She looks out when she goes hiking.
I look out when I take a lot of money downtown. They look out when they go running in the street.
He looks out on the exam.
You look out when you go skin diving.
He looks out when he goes hunting.
You look out for your luggage at the airport. To look over is to examine.
He looks over a house before he buys it.
She looks over a coat before she buys it. I look over my homework before I give it to the teacher.
We look over the bill before we pay it.
He looks over the information before he gives a report. She looks over her car before she goes on a trip.
He looks over a suit before he buys it.
You look over your notes before the test.
He looks over the check at the restaurant.
He looks over the news every morning. To look into is to investigate.
Detectives look into crime.
Social workers look into situations.
Lawyers look into the law.
He looks into the stock market when he buys shares.
He looks into prices.
Judges look into the facts.
Researchers look into information.
Scientists look into new discoveries.
A banker looks into accounts.
She looks into possible careers. To look after is to take care of.
Nurses look after babies in the nursery.
She looks after her little brother. I look after my plants.
They look after his apartment for him.
A lifeguard looks after swimmers. They look after dogs in the kennel.
He looks after his little sister.
She looks after her garden. I look after my house.
A babysitter looks after children.
To look through is to observe with an instrument. I look through a telescope to see the stars.
He looks through a magnifying glass to see things larger.
You look through a kaleidoscope to see colors.
The captain looks through a telescope to see other ships.
I look through the viewer of a camera to take a picture. You look through a microscope to see bacteria.
You look through your glasses to see things well.
He looks through binoculars to watch the race.
A sailor on a submarine looks through a periscope to see the surface.
I look through a viewer to see slides. To look good is to have a good appearance.
My flower box looks good.
That pie looks good.
The road conditions look good.
She looks good in her pictures.
Lawns look good in red.
Her patio looks good.
Those cupcakes look good.
The new building looks good.
He looks good in that tie.
Redheads look good in blue. To look bad is to have a bad appearance.
She's sick. She looks bad.
That meat looks bad.
She looks bad in a suit.
The weather looks bad.
His conduct looks bad.
People look bad when they have a cold.
That apple looks bad.
He looks bad in shorts.
Old snow looks bad.
Temper tantrums look bad. To run out of is to exhaust a supply.
We frequently run out of sugar.
They run out of ice when it's hot.
The store runs out of products when it has a sale.
He runs out of money quickly.
He runs out of checks at the end of the month. She runs out of eggs when she makes a meringue.
I run out of wine when I have a party.
The factory runs out of spare parts.
The secretary runs out of paper often.
The cashier runs out of change frequently.
To run away is to flee.
He runs away from accidents.
You run away from problems.
The child runs away from his mother.
Some teenagers run away from home.
The cat runs away from him.
She runs away from a fire. I run away from discussions.
The dog runs away from the child.
He runs away from other people.
She runs away from mice.
To run errands is to buy things or to do something for another person.
An office boy runs errands.
She runs errands for her mother.
He runs errands on the weekends for extra money.
You run errands for your boss.
He runs errands downtown.
A grocery boy runs errands.
He runs errands for his father.
She runs errands after school for spending money. I run errands for older people.
She runs errands in the neighborhood.
To run into is to meet by accident.
She runs into her friend downtown.
He runs into other salesmen at the convention. I run into many people at the supermarket.
I run into acquaintances at parties.
You run into old classmates at the class reunion. He runs into his friends at the club.
She runs into other teachers at the meeting.
You run into few people in your office. I run into people I know on the street.
You run into old friends at church.
To come across is to meet or to find.
He comes across the article in the newspaper.
I come across an old trunk.
She comes across the doll in the toy shop.
You come across a garage sale.
They come across the rake in the garden.
She comes across an interesting story.
You come across a picture book. He comes across a toy train.
I come across a bazaar.
They come across the mower in the garage. Don't you like to play cards?
Yes, I do. To come true is to become reality.
Her dreams come true.
My wishes frequently come true.
His intuitions often come true.
Your daydreams come true.
Our fantasies come true.
His dreams don't come true.
Her wishes don't frequently come true.
His intuitions don't often come true. My daydreams don't come true.
Her fantasies don't come true.
To come to an end is to end or finish.
The TV program comes to an end at 10 o'clock.
The story comes to a happy end.
The class comes to an end when the bell rings.
The movie comes to an end after 2 hours.
The soccer game comes to an end after 1 hour and 30 minutes.
The radio program comes to an end at 1 a.m.
The ballet comes to a sad end.
The lecture comes to an end after 1 hour.
The play comes to an end at 9 a.m.
The baseball game comes to an end after 9 innings. To hold with is to agree with or to approve.
He holds with smoking.
She holds with women's liberation.
She holds with credit cards.
You hold with drinking beer.
He holds with gambling.
She doesn't hold with smoking.
He doesn't hold with women's liberation.
He doesn't hold with credit cards.
He doesn't hold with drinking beer.
She doesn't hold with gambling. To hold still is to remain in the same position, or to be quiet.
He holds still in class.
She holds still for the seamstress.
You hold still for the national anthem.
I hold still when I'm asleep.
They hold still in front of older people.
The children hold still in church.
She holds still for the photographer.
The soldiers hold still for the general. I hold still when I'm at the dinner table.
They hold still when there are visitors.
To hold up is to rob.
Robbers hold up many banks.
They hold up supermarkets in that city.
He holds up gas stations at night.
Thieves hold up people in the street.
He holds up restaurants late at night.
They hold up the security van.
They hold up the small stores.
He holds up a department store.
They hold up the people in the bank.
He holds up a nightclub. To hold good is to honor or to be valid.
He holds good on his promises.
Her check holds good.
The offer holds good until next week.
She holds good on her word.
His invitation holds good.
She holds good on her resolutions.
His credit holds good.
The bargain holds good on Friday and Saturday.
He holds good on his intentions.
His threats hold good. To hold on is to wait.
The line is busy. Please hold on.
He isn't here. Hold on for a few minutes.
I'm occupied at the moment. Please hold on.
He's in the shower. Please hold on. He's next door. Hold on for a few minutes. The secretary is out for a moment. Please hold on.
He's in the other room. Please hold on.
She's busy. Please hold on. She's in the kitchen. Hold on for a minute. I'm busy. Please hold on. To seem like is to have the appearance.
You seem like a nice person.
She seems like a sweet girl.
He seems like a strong man.
They seem like a happy couple.
You seem like an intelligent person.
He seems like a mean person.
He seems like a bad boy.
She seems like a weak woman.
They seem like an unhappy couple.
She seems like an unintelligent person. To seem to be is to have the appearance.
It seems to be a quiet village.
She seems to be a meticulous housekeeper.
You seem to be an expert cook.
She seems to be a thoughtful person.
He seems to be a nervous person.
It seems to be a noisy city.
She seems to be a careless housekeeper.
He seems to be an inexpert cook.
He seems to be a thoughtless person.
She seems to be a serene person. To want out is to desire to quit.
You don't like the university. You want out.
She doesn't want to go to the party. She wants out. I don't like this club. I want out.
We don't want to go to the family reunion. We want out.
He doesn't want to play in the football game. He wants out. He doesn't like his chemistry class. He wants out.
He doesn't want to go on the trip. He wants out.
She doesn't like her new job. She wants out.
You don't want to accompany them. You want out.
She doesn't want to participate in the hockey game. She wants out. To throw out is to discard.
She's throwing the garbage out.
I'm throwing the old newspapers out.
He's throwing the bills out.
She's throwing her broken toys out.
You're throwing your old notebooks out.
He's throwing the water in the bucket out.
I'm throwing the old magazines out.
He's throwing the receipts out.
She's throwing the torn posters out.
You're throwing your old workbooks out. To throw away is to discard or to put in the garbage can.
She's throwing the vegetable peelings away. He's throwing the scraps of paper away.
I'm throwing the bread crusts away.
You're throwing the disposable bottle away.
He's throwing the paper napkins away. She's throwing the leftovers away.
She's throwing the scraps of material away.
I'm throwing the leftover pizza crust away.
You're throwing the milk carton away.
He's throwing the paper towels away.
To be up is to be awake and active.
A. I was up at 7 o'clock this morning.
B. She was up before sunrise.
C. He was up before breakfast.
D. You were up late last night.
E. He was up in the middle of the night with the baby.
A. He was up at 8 o'clock yesterday.
B. You were up after sunrise.
C. She was up after breakfast.
D. You were up early this morning.
E. She was up in the middle of the night with a cough. To be over is to be finished.
A. The movie was over at 6 p.m.
B. The class was over at 2:30.
C. The party was over at midnight.
D. The boxing match was over at 10 p.m.
E. The horse races were over at 8 p.m.
A. The TV program was over at 9 p.m.
B. The lecture was over at 4 p.m.
C. The picnic was over in the evening.
D. The wrestling match was over at 11 p.m.
E. The car races were over at 5 p.m. To be used to is to be accustomed to.
A. He was used to living in small apartments.
B. She was used to cold weather.
C. I was used to going out every weekend.
D. He was used to being up late.
E. She was used to children.
She wasn't used to living in small apartments. She was used to living in big houses.
B. He wasn't used to cold weather. He was used to hot weather.
C. I wasn't used to going out every weekend. I was used to staying at home.
D. She wasn't used to being up late. She was used to going to bed early.
E. He wasn't used to children. He was used to being alone. To be about to is to be on the point of doing something.
A. I was about to ring the doorbell.
B. She was about to call him.
C. He was about to go swimming.
D. They were about to play checkers.
E. They were about to eat dinner.
A. I was about to leave the house.
B. He was about to write a letter.
C. She was about to go skating.
D. They were about to play dice.
E. They were about to drink a cup of coffee. To be out of the question is to be impossible.
A. A vacation was out of the question for him.
B. It was rainy yesterday. Going for a walk was out of the question.
C. His leg was broken. Going skiing was out of the question.
D. She was sick. Going to work was out of the question.
E. He was absent. Talking to him was out of the question.
A day off was out of the question for her.
B. It was cold last night. Going out was out of the question.
C. His arm was broken. Playing tennis was out of the question.
D. He was busy. Going home for lunch was out of the question.
To be rained out is to be cancelled because of rain.
A. The baseball game was rained out.
B. The outdoor concert was rained out.
C. The tennis match was rained out.
D. Their picnic was rained out.
E. The bicycle race was rained out.
The soccer game was rained out.
B. The exhibition at the fair was rained out.
C. The swimming competition was rained out.
D. Their camping trip was rained out.
E. The horse race was rained out. To talk over is to discuss.
A. I talked over the plans for the new house with the architect.
B. You talked over the budget with the manager.
C. He talked over money with his wife.
D. They talked over their salaries.
E. He talked over his fishing trip with his friend.
I talked over the wiring with the electrician.
B. You talked over the accounts with the accountant.
C. She talked over a new car with her husband.
D. They talked over their jobs.
E. He talked over his bowling night with his wife. To call on is to visit.
A. The salesman called on her to show her the new cosmetics.
B. The Red Cross called on them to ask for a donation.
C. The newspaper boy called on me to collect the bill.
D. He called on them to take a poll.
E. The doctor called on his patients in the hospital.
The salesman called on him to show him the new products.
B. The Lions Club called on them to ask for a contribution.
C. The milkman called on her to take her order.
D. She called on them to distribute samples.
E. The outpatients called on the doctor in the clinic. To call for is to pick up.
A. He called for her in his car.
B. He called for his wife at the dentist's office.
C. She called for her daughter at the kindergarten.
D. He called for her to take her to the dance.
E. I called for my grandmother to take her downtown.
He called for her at the door.
B. She called for him at work.
C. She called for her son at the junior high school.
D. She called for him to take him to the costume party.
E. I called for my grandfather to take him for a ride. To call off is to cancel.
A. They called off the football game because of rain.
B. She called off the card party because of her sick child.
C.